In short order, Littlejohn Coliseum has become one of the premier gymnastic venues in the nation. And tonight, the 24th ranked Clemson Tigers return home for the first time in 3 weeks to welcome a North Carolina team fresh off of its best meet of the season. It is ACC Gymnastics live on ACC Network Extra. Hi everybody, so happy to have you with us on this Friday night as we welcome you into the inaugural Pink Meet here in Littlejohn Coliseum alongside former Auburn gymnast Toy Garcia. My name is John Gross. Toy, it's week 8. NQS rankings begin after this weekend. This is when things really start to matter.
That's exactly right. We're in the second half of the season where the details and the smaller things are really going to count. Those stuck landing, those pointed toes, lineups, alternates, they're always going to be vying for that spot, but at this point in the season, lineups are really starting to solidify.
Clemson and North Carolina meeting for the second time this season. They previously met on January 26th. Let's take a look back at the breakdown of that meet. Clemson came away with the win, 19655, the total score for the Tigers. Clemson's first road win in program history. That one up in Chapel Hill, and of course tonight here in Clemson, South Carolina, at a rocking Littlejohn Coliseum. Toy, when we spoke preseason with Amy Smith, she talked about how she wants this environment to be like a party. It has been like that every single time Clemson's been at home this year.
That's exactly right. In a party it is. We were just chatting before this, and it is so fun in this environment. The energy is absolutely palpable.
And of course, some extra meaning in this meet as well. You see pink all around. It is the inaugural Pink Meet for Clemson Gymnastics. Both of these teams wearing pink Leos. Great look for both squads. You see a jam-packed house. It's a busy time on campus here in Clemson. Softball and baseball playing today as well, but Toy, this really just shows how much this community has grown to love the sport of gymnastics, that despite having other sports going on, they have packed the house here at Littlejohn Coliseum. And there is Amy Smith, her first season as Clemson's head coach, and what a job she has done in the inaugural year of this program. Spent 5 seasons as the head coach at Utah State. Hired in April of 2022, and here we go. We are underway. Clemson will begin on vaults with Rebecca Wells coming off of a career-high all-around performance of 39.55.
And it's Yurchenko layout full. Very nicely done. A lot of height off that table. Good amplitude, distance as well. You can see she took that small hop back. That'll be a 10th or 2, but nicely done. We'll take another look here. Important to note, good entry onto the table. Ankles are just absolutely glued together. Doesn't exactly get that stuck landing, but job well done.
North Carolina begins on bars. It's Jamie Shearer, the senior, against Pitt last time out, had a season-high 9.825 on bars. There is Dana Durante, third-year head coach in charge of North Carolina. UNC coming off of its best meet score of the season against Pitt, and Shearer gets things going for the visitors.
Good handstand right on top of the bar. Nice major release there. That is what we call a Jaeger in gymnastics. All gymnasts are required a major release in their routine. Gearing up for the dismount. Nice handstand there. Only thing left is the dismount. We can tell it because her giants are starting to accelerate. It's a double layout and sticks that landing. Excellent job for first routine up for UNC.
Strong start for Shearer, who has been in this bars lineup throughout her Tar Heel career. We move back to vaults. It is Eve Jackson, fresh off of a season-high 9.825 in this event against NC State.
Yurchenko layout full, a little bit of a trouble up there on the landing. She took a step, looks like out of the white lines. That'll be more of a deduction than usual. Take another look here. So round up back handspring onto the table. Layout full off of the table, twisted just a little bit early, which is why she was crooked and did have to take that step outside of the white lines.
So back over to bars. Julian Noer we'll get things going. But first, a look at Deanna Durante, her third season in charge of UNC. She spent 5 years at Georgia. And Toy, you had the chance to compete against her as well, as you see Rebecca Wells starting things off with a 9-8 for Clemson.
Dana and I had a great conversation before the meet. We recognized each other, caught up on good old times in the SEC, and it was really, really great to catch up.
So Julian Noer, second in this lineup on bars. The Louisiana native had a season high on bars against Pitt. Had season highs on all 4 events and the all-arounds against the Panthers last time out.
Now from in between the bars. Good job on the major release there. That was a ginger. Nice high to low, also known as an overshoot there. Hit her handstand. Only thing left here is the dismount. Just looking for her to land on her feet. It's a full twisting double back dismount, 6-out landing. She is proud about that. You can see it all over her face. That's 2 6 in a row for UNC. Another look at this major release. It's called a ginger.
So back to the vaults. Clemson with back-to-back 9-8s to start things off. On vaults, here is Trinity Brown. 9-8 last time out against NC State on vaults.
Huge Yurchenko layout full. I love when I see gymnasts twist with their hips absolutely wide open in a flat body position. It is so difficult to do. She did it with so much ease. Made it look much easier than it actually is. Take another look. Excellent entry onto the table. And just sees the ground, eases right into that landing. Doesn't get the stick, but shouldn't be too much of a deduction on that step.
Brown, one of those 6 transfers from Utah State, doing her thing now with the Clemson Tigers. So we go back to bars with Kaya Forbes. Jamie Shearer, her score a 9.725 in the first go for North Carolina. There you see it, the 9.725 for Shearer. Here is Forbes, sophomore from Louisiana.
Nice major release there. That is a shapash. A little bit of a leg separation there on her high to low, that overshoot. Full twisting double back dismount. Comes off the bar just a little bit early, which is why she landed with her chest down. Didn't complete that flip. Judges are looking for gymnasts to land with their chest straight up and down. Take another look at her major release, that shapash. Nicely done. And the dismount here peels off the bar just a little too soon. Lands with her chest down, has to take that step forward.
A reminder, the lowest of the 6 scores is dropped. They just take the 5 highest. So we go back to vaults. Here is Molly Arnolds at a career-high 9.925 for her second event win of the season against NC State last week.
Yurchenko 1.5. That's the first 10-0 start vault that we've seen so far. Take another look at this vault. A little bit crunchy on the table. Her arms were a little bit bent. Didn't quite get the amplitude off the table that she probably needed to land in a straight up and down position. You can see she landed just a little bit squatty.
So back to bars we go. Here is Gwen Fink. And Trinity Brown's given a 9.875. Julia Noer 9.825. As Fink steps to the bars. Coming off of a career-high 9.9 against Pitt. And Toy, that was really the theme for North Carolina across the board. They were finally healthy, battling some injuries and illness earlier on in the season, but they feel confident after that season-best performance against Pitt last week.
Durante said that after last week's performance, the team felt somewhat of a renewed energy, that they can compete like they were training.
Waiting in the judges right now as they confer. There is Dana Durante looking on. Durante mentioned before she was at Georgia for 5 years. Actually, after leaving Georgia, left coaching in general. She spent 4 years recruiting executives for Fortune 500 companies. Gets back into coaching now in year 3, leading the way for the Tar Heels.
Beautiful handstand right on top of the bar there. Moving right into her major release. Nice handstand. That's what the judges are looking for. Finish all handstands straight up and down on top of the bar. Gearing up for the dismount here. Double layout. Sticks the landing. I can tell what UNC has been practicing back in the gym. It looks like those stuck landings, and they are bringing it tonight. Take another look at her major release here. Nice height and distance from the bar, exactly what the judges are looking for. Finishes with that handstand right on top.
UNC at a season high in bars last week. Solid start so far to begin things. Here was Lauren Rutherford, transfer from NC State, who actually did not compete last week against her former team.
Nice, Yurchenko, 1.5. Very well done, almost got that stuck landing. Beautiful position, execution in the air. Nicely done. Finishes with that blind landing, cannot see the floor before she lands. Very difficult to do. She handled it with no problem.
As Isabel Schaefer steps up to bars. A couple score updates. Kaya Forbes, 9.175 in bars. So North Carolina hoping that is the lowest score. Molly Arnold, another 9.8. So it's been 4 9.8s or better for Clemson to start things off on vaults. There was Schaefer at a 9.925 in bars last week. That was tied for the 3rd best in North Carolina history. Two-time All-Eagle last 2 years on this apparatus.
So far, no major problems here. This gymnast is very clean on this event. No major form breaks. Full twisting double back. Takes a small hop back, but one of very few deductions there. Take another look at her major release. Straddle Jaeger. And this full twisting double back dismount has just a little bit too much juice, takes a hop back.
So back to vaults, the 6th and final gymnast for Clemson. It is Madison Minner, the local product from Anderson. The 9.35 last time out on vaults against NC State.
Yurchenko really tried to get that stuck landing. Landed with her chest just a little bit down.
Check that. That was Kate Bryant, a late change in the lineup. So it is the freshman from Colorado. So Bryant getting an opportunity in the 6th spot of this lineup for Clemson. And Gwen Fink, a 9.85 on bars. And going back to vault for a second, Lauren Rutherford, a 9.925 for Clemson. That matches a career high for a very, very talented gymnast. And here is, you want to talk about a talented gymnast, Lali Dekanoidze, one of the 5 All-American gymnasts in North Carolina history.
So far, so good. Beautiful handstand right on top of the bar. Double layout, wow. Now that was a bar routine. That was a gorgeous bar routine. I saw very little, if any, deductions on that. Her double layout, her feet were absolutely glued together. I'll take another look here at this dismount. Beautiful handstand finishing right on top of the bar. Double layout. eases right into that landing. Incredible.
So we go to the exhibition. Madison Minner, local product from Anderson, South Carolina. And Kate Bryant wrapping things up with a 9.75 for Clemson and vaults.
Yurchenko, 1.5 in a tuck position. Struggled with that a little bit. She did have a lot of distance from the table, but you can see she stepped out of bounds, stepped out of those white lines, so it'll be a significant deduction.
And competing as an exhibition for UNC, Amy Wozniak. Wozniak, whose sister Sarah is a gymnast at William & Mary. Her sister competed here for the first ever meet in Clemson history. So wrap things up for North Carolina on rotation 1. Still waiting on judges. And we're ready to roll here.
First major skill, her major release there. It's a Jaeger, straddle Jaeger, moving right on down to the low bar with an overshoot. Back up to the high bar, a little bit short on that last handstand. It's a giant pull into a double back dismount. A little bit squirrely there on that connection, but she salvages it and lands on her feet with what I believe is a stuck landing.
So Amy Wozniak wraps things up for rotation 1 here in Little John Coliseum. Rotation 2 after this on ACC Network Extra.